Oh my gosh, I'm live. Hi everybody. Quý vị nghe được không? Quý vị thấy được không? Can you hear me and can you see me? If you're watching from the United States, you know what to do. Let's see some ones. Có ai đang xem từ Việt Nam không? Let me see a two if you're from Vietnam. And good morning, Vietnam. It's the day after Mother's Day. Hello, chị Minh Châu. And we've got Nga. And we've got, who else? Michael Consor's in the house. Kimmy says she can hear me. We've got chị Lê Hằng. We've got Victor Tran. Nice. Wonderful. Good to see you all here. We've got, of course, my buddy Jim Rotter. Hello, Jim. And then, my buddy Fat. Hello, Fat. Jim's watching from Seal Beach. And who is this? Whoa, Richard. Are you a new viewer, Richard? I've never seen your name before. Nah, we got someone from Vietnam right here. Leon Duc. Hello, Em. Nice to see you. And we've got a good morning, Vietnam. Okay, very good. Oh, wait, I've got other new names. Hello, everybody. Nice to see you. Nice to see some new names. That's awesome. We've got Mia from Houston. Oh my gosh, we got someone with the same name. It's Lena Tran saying hi to Lena Wynn. Hi, Lena Tran. Okay. We got Nathaniel. I love it. And of course, Tuấn Boy. Hello, Tuấn. Yep. So Richard just found me. Well, thank you. Welcome to the club. Welcome to the club. It's no charge tonight. It's totally free cover charge tonight. Lucky you. Okay. This is Dance Pop. Let's turn the music down a little bit. Okay, you guys. I hope you guys had a great weekend. I had one of the best weekends ever because, well, one, it was Mother's Day weekend. My mom is in town. My mom's normally either in Vietnam or in Minnesota or somewhere else, and we're normally not together very often for Mother's Day. So it was really awesome to have her here. My kids are, life is good, you guys. Count your blessings. If you were able to spend it with someone, I hope you had a great Mother's Day. And then my son, my oldest, who just turned 18, I don't know how that happened. It was senior prom. And I thought, for sure, he didn't want me around because, mom's going to embarrass him. He actually wanted me there. It was so sweet. So I went there and I took pictures, like a hell of a lot of pictures. And it was just so fun. Like this is like adulting, but the greatest part of it, right? And then it was also my wedding anniversary. That was just a little side note. It was just my wedding anniversary because everything else was so awesome. So I hope you guys had a great weekend. Okay. Hi, Tim. Heck yeah. Richard had a good weekend. Nice. Very, very good. Okay, you guys. So as you know, it's Monday. We do Money Mondays here where we talk about something that is finance related. It doesn't have to be directly, numbers and finance. And tonight I wanted to bring on two friends. One of them is having a hard time coming on because why? Well, because she's technically challenged. I'm gonna have to charge her for that. I'm just gonna have to charge her for that. But I have another friend here who doesn't have a light, so she looks like she's in the dark right now. But I'm gonna bring her on. Okay, I'm just gonna bring her on for a second and see. If you've known her for any amount of time, you've seen her before on my Facebook. Ladies and gentlemen, hold on. We have to give an applause because this is Jen Lee. Hi, Jen. Oh my God, you've got so many fans. Okay. So Jen Lee is joining us today, and I was hoping to have another friend on here, and she may come anyway. And we wanted to kind of talk about personal experience. This is something that is going to affect most of you watching. 7 out of 10. Okay, 7 out of 10. And if you don't plan for it ahead of time, it could be really, really bad for you and your family. And Jen knows firsthand because she has actually gone through this. So, in comments, if you have ever taken care of a family member or a loved one who has gotten sick and kind of needed long-term care, let me know in comments. Has anyone had to take care of a loved one who was sick? Mình có bao giờ phải chăm sóc cho người nhà không? Let's look at some statistics first, shall we, before we start sharing here? Oh, wait a second. Hold on. She figured it out. Now we have to give this woman applause too, ladies and gentlemen. Chị Lan.
I got it. I didn't give up.
Well, that's why we love you. That's why I like you, because you didn't give up.
For you, I wouldn't give up. Yeah.
Everyone else, this is chị Thúy Lan. And you might have seen her with me before. So chị Lan, did you have a good Mother's Day weekend?
Oh, it was wonderful, Em. It was wonderful. You know, my kids every year, I've been a single mom for the last 14 years. So Mother's Day is the only day that they pretty much celebrate, because we don't celebrate Father's Day, unfortunately. But so Isabel always plan everything, you know, have beautiful cars and flowers and make lunch reservations. So it was just wonderful.
Awesome, isn't it?
My kids are my blessing.
Before I had kids, I'm not sure which holiday was my favorite, but so when I had kids and they're little, favorite holiday, bar none, was Halloween. Oh my God, that was like it became such a fun holiday for us. Oh my gosh, Halloween was awesome. When you have little kids, right?
Yeah. Well, my kids used to make me do trick or treat and stuff like that with them, but I told them when they were young, I never liked Halloween, because Halloween, you know, like người Việt mình nghĩ lấy cô hồn or something. So I never like it. But my kids say, you know, they understand. But Mother's Day would probably be my favorite. Christmas, Thanksgiving, and then Tết ta mình. Yeah.
Lunar New Year. Yep.
Lunar New Year. Yeah.
Jen, what's your favorite holiday, Jen?
Tết.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we Asians celebrate New Year for like at least 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But the preparation goes on for like a month before at least. So anyway, so we are so lucky. So before chị Thúy Lan made it on, I just want to take a look at some statistics. Does anyone know how to say statistics in Vietnamese?
Oh my goodness, I'm in trouble.
Biết chết liền, phải không? Biết chết liền. If anyone's watching and can actually look it up, please let us know. Please let us know. Okay, so let's just take a look at some statistics about long-term care, which is what we're talking about tonight. Okay? Every day, you guys, every day until the year 2030, 10,000 baby boomers will reach the age of 65.
Wow.
Every day, 10,000.
Wow.
Baby boomers reach the age of 65. Amazing, right? 7 out of 10 people will require long-term care.
Yeah.
Okay? That we knew.
Yeah,
okay?
That we knew.
In the U.S., there are nearly 1 million licensed beds, with an average of 33 licensed beds per assisted living facility. Okay. And look at this, because these numbers, they don't update every year. It's kind of impossible. They don't do that. So we take whatever latest numbers that we can.
And this was 2015.
Yes, that was from 2015.
Wow.
There are more than 800,000 people in assisted living throughout the U.S. And that was also from 2015. Wow. Okay. Of the 3.9 million Americans receiving care in a skilled nursing facility, 78% received long-term care for 100 days or more. Okay. And then look at this number. There's only 1.7 million assisted living employees in the U.S. to care for those 3.9 million. Amazing. Right.
Wow.
Okay. Statistics is thống kê, huh? Thống kê. Thống. thống kê.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Sounds right.
Okay. There you go. I learned something else today. Okay. Let's take a look at a couple other things. So, according to the CDC, the most common conditions affecting long-term care residents. Okay. I'm going to go from the bottom up, you guys. I'm going to go from the bottom up, and I think you'll be really surprised. So these are the most common conditions affecting long-term care residents, okay? Stroke is only 10%. Right?
I thought it'd be more.
Yeah,
Yes.
I know. Because when I talk to people, that's the one thing that they kind of like, oh, I'm concerned. What if I have a stroke? What if I have a heart attack? And that's
Right.
actually at the bottom of the list.
Wow.
Okay? Có ai người Việt nghe không có kịp không? Như vậy đây là những trời ơi, I'm going to have to speak Vietlish because yeah. So đây là những cái condition mà common nhất cho những người trong long term care nha. Okay? And nhưng mà mình đi từ dưới lên trên, so we're going to do for the least common.
Okay.
And stroke, okay?
Wow. I'm
Yep.
surprised. I'm really
Right.
Yeah.
Next one. Oops, sorry. Next one. Chronic obstructive pulmonary disease and related conditions, COPD. Okay? Then osteoporosis. Okay? Hình như tiếng Việt mình là rỗng xương hay gì đó phải không chị?
Loãng xương.
Yeah. Okay? And then it's heart disease. We're not even this is just mid list right now.
Wow.
Diabetes.
Ooh.
Okay? That I believe.
Mm-hmm.
That I believe. Arthritis.
No way.
Yes. Depression.
Whoa.
Okay, depression. Alzheimer's and
Okay.
dementia.
Yeah, Alzheimer, I agree.
Yep.
Yep. So I know that has experienced that firsthand with her family. That is not a surprise. I have friends whose parents are going through that right now, and they have to go into a facility. Here's the number one.
Whoa.
High blood pressure.
Whoa.
High blood pressure. By the way, high blood pressure, most people think it's no big deal. I'm getting older, right?
And it's you can take care of it by taking medication.
Yep. So that was a little surprising to me. So Keith here, my friend Keith says, my wife took care of her mom and her dad, both who died 6 months apart. Oh, like I can't even. That's tough. That's tough. Richard, who's new to the program here, took care of his late wife. Okay, so we've got some people who are watching right now who have a little bit of knowledge and experience. Okay, and this is something that is very difficult for people to imagine if they've never done it.
Mhm.
Okay, so when we're talking about long-term care, it's helping people with their daily living activities. Okay. So when I have talked to you guys about long-term care protection, sickness protection, living benefits, how to take money out of your life insurance to use for this stuff, we look at the 6 activities of daily living. And if you can't do 2 of them without substantial help, you're considered chronic. You then qualify. And here are those 6 daily living activities. Bathing. Okay, như vậy là mình tự tắm rửa nha.
Yeah.
Eating.
Mhm.
Dressing. Thay áo quần nè. Transferring là moving around. What is cái chữ đó tiếng Việt là gì? Di chuyển hả?
Di chuyển.
Okay. Toileting là mình đi phòng vệ sinh một mình được đó, mình tự đi được nè. And then continence. Continence là như là mình phải mang tã hoặc là phải dùng mấy cái bags and all that stuff. Anyway, those are the 6. If 2 of those 6 you can't do without substantial help, you're considered chronic and you qualify. Okay, you qualify. Now, it could be from sickness, nhưng mà có thể không phải bệnh, có thể là very serious accident. See? So maybe for 30 days, let's say if you get in a very bad accident and your leg is all messed up and you can't walk, well, then you probably need help transferring. You probably need help bathing. You probably need help, maybe toileting. You might need help dressing. You see, so it's not just being sick, right? So those are the things that that we're talking about. And so I wanted my friends to come on here because I know that they have personal experience and to share their stories. First of all, let's talk to Jen. Jen and I have known each other for what?
15 years,
15, 16 years. So I know, and I think it was kind of towards the beginning of that time where she was dealing with a sick parent. So, Am, can you tell us about your parents and what you had to go through?
Yeah, Jade. When we first came to the state, we're talking about 30 years ago. My dad unfortunately had a stroke and paralyzed his left side. And we went through therapies and stuff, but because of his age, he couldn't, got better or anything. So ended up he has to be at, nursing home facility where even though he has Medicare, he had Medicaid, he got Medi-Cal, everything, but every month our family have to pay out pockets $1,500 a month. But we're talking about 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Can you imagine right now how much you have to pay? Even though you think you have Medicare, you have Medicaid, but that's not going to cover. And my dad was in a nursing home for 18 years.
Wow.
Before he passed. He was there since 94 until 2012.
Wow, that's a surprise to me that with Medicaid, Medi-Cal, Medicare, everything, and still pay $1,500.
We still have to pay out of pocket.
Well, okay, well, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Because he was staying for such a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So every month we keep on getting billed, even though, with all that he had, it's still not covered because, of the, intensive care that he needs at the facility.
Mm-hmm. And then you went through it again with your mom.
Yeah, well, while my dad was in one nursing home, my mom started to have dementia. This is her, this is early stage of dementia. And we couldn't take care of her. Me and my sister, we tried to take care of her at home. We take turn because I work night shift, my sister worked day shift. So we, alternate and take care of my mom, but we couldn't. So we ended up having to, let her stay at the nursing home too. And it was heartbreaking because we had to get a lock unit for her. Because with dementia and Alzheimer's, they tend to wander. And regular nursing home won't accept her. So we have to, practically, have her stay in jail.
Yeah.
We couldn't afford to take care of her. We couldn't have anybody to come over and help us at home.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Jen. This is the first time I heard the story from you.
Yeah. And she was in there for 6 years. 6 years before she passed. So my dad passed in 2012, and then 9 months later, my mom passed as well. But it was devastating.
And how did your family deal with how much was your mom's care?
My mom care was much more expensive because it's a different facility, and I think there was 2010, I think, and my mom care was $8,000 something a month.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. And that was just a regular facility. We couldn't afford anything more. We wanted to, but we couldn't. There's everything just out of pocket.
Yep.
Yeah.
Boy, that's tough. And could you tell me about, we know that financially it really affects families, but it had to also just affect your lives because now I'm right. I mean, I mean, it's a whole different thing. You kind of have to put everything on hold and take care of mom and dad, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So I went to college, but then I couldn't finish all the semester because constantly, like from almost every day, I'd take my mom to, go to nursing home, see my dad at the early stage, have dinner with him and stuff. And then every time I go see him like that, I went home, I couldn't study.
Yeah.
So, seeing like that, and I felt so helpless.
Yeah.
And I couldn't concentrate and study. And then, eventually we couldn't do, much anymore. So we just like visiting him, 3-4 times a week, and then end up, twice a week. And that's when I, focusing on finish my college.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then, so this was your mom on her last day?
Yeah, this was her second time into the ER because with, she won with Alzheimer's. When she ate, she didn't chew, so she kept on swallowing everything. So 10 days prior to this right here, they were able to revive her. But then 10 days later, the same thing when she was eating lunch and she didn't chew. So she kept swallowing stuck in her throat. And by the time they got her back here, they couldn't do anything. Because they said there's a chance to go through surgery and stuff. It's only 5% chance.
Mm-hmm.
But because, she went through with us and with, my dad. And she said if anything happened to her, I would save her, let her go. So that's when you were there, Jake. We decided to, pull up, the life support.
Yeah. I think people who don't have any experience with this, when they think of Alzheimer's or dementia, they think that, oh, they just la mất trí nhớ, like, oh, maybe they don't recognize people, but it way, way beyond that. Just like Jen just said, like they forget that they're supposed to chew their food before they swallow.
Right.
Right. So it is beyond just remembering people's faces and names. It is so beyond that. It affects them physically. And it is something that you cannot care for them at home. It is close to impossible because you just can't. And so that's very difficult. And I remember I remember back at that time and how incredibly difficult it was. I remember that time.
Yeah.
That when you have to make that decision.
Yeah.
Right. To I mean, that her wishes were that she didn't want to be kept alive with machines, that when the time came that you would let her go peacefully. So I remember that time. And even when that's what they want, it is not easy.
It's not.
Yeah. And so I think the one thing that people should focus on is, so a lot of people are going to get sick, and there are some times where there is no treatment. But what you're fighting for is you're fighting for extra time with your family, and you're fighting for their comfort.
Yes.
And their
quality during the time that they are fighting a battle of their life. It's like you have to have some kind of, at least at the minimum, a certain comfort. I mean, saying comfort is kind of wrong, because how can you be in comfort when you have this kind of illness? But there's a minimum level that if there is money to help, you would be able to provide a better care.
Yeah,
for sure.
Exactly. So that is caring for elderly parents. And as awful as that is, there is a progression, right? Like, when she got sick, and there was a progression where she slowly got worse. But in Dilan's case, there was no warning. There was no time to prepare. And it was her husband was fine one day and the next day didn't feel well, and it was the diagnosis that they didn't even want to believe. So, chị Thúy Lan, if you could kind of tell us about your husband, your late husband.
Well, may I say he was the most handsome dentist, if I can say that. And little Saigon, very, very good looking, nice. This is our engagement after we were together. My parents were still alive then. And he was healthy all the time. Like people would have flu and take off work. He would just like continue working, hardly ever get sick. And then one day, out of nowhere, he's complaining of having headache, dizziness. He kept saying the house is, we have earthquake, the house spinning. Long story short, he was diagnosed with terminal brain cancer. It's called glioblastoma, and we were given 3 months to live. He was given 3 months to live, and we have 3 months to prepare. How could you prepare for something like that? The doctor, I remember, kept telling me, Mrs. Chow, you need to sit down. We need to tell you something. You need to sit down. And, you know, I block out a lot. I don't remember like a lot, but all I remember was like, keep hearing you. He has 3 months. You need to get everything in order. And as you know me, I don't give up. There's no such thing as 3 months. And you know, tiếng Việt của mình nói còn nước còn tát. So I decided, you know, I'm going to go back and do my research. I'm going to find out what happened and what to do. So we actually was able to stretch it out to 20 months. He lived, he fought a very good fight, and he lived for 20 months. But the last 3 months of his life was unbearable. He wasn't who he was anymore. He needed a lot of help. And he was so proud. He was so proud that, you know, he refused to be bathed by anybody else but me. He refused to be changed by anybody else but me. He refused to wear a diaper because he said, no, I'm still going to walk to the bathroom and I still can do it. But then, you know, we knew he couldn't. And so it was just, you know, I think nobody can really imagine it unless you went through it. I can describe it. I can share with all of you, but I don't think anybody would be able to comprehend a 49 years old man with so much to live for and so smart, so good at everything he does. I mean, he was so great at, you know, a handyman. He can fix anything in the house and did beautiful dentistry and everything. And then suddenly just not even able to recognize me and the kids. So that was very hard for all of us, especially for my 2 kids who were experimental chemo and everything. And he lived for 20 months. But what I learned from all of that was that the pain was unbearable. And you really, really try and look at positive and took each day and pray. I pray a lot. I went to, you know, 10 Kiển Chùa, 10 temple, and pray and put his name and did everything and hope that he'd be a miracle. And at one point, the surgeon, his doctor, oncologist, everybody actually said it's a miracle that he lived past 3 months. It was a miracle. And when he was recovering that Christmas, I remember 2009, we thought, okay, we're going to beat this thing. But it turned over, you know, very quickly. And what I've learned from that experience, and after he left us, is I will never let my children go through that pain without any kind of financial help in case something happened to me. So the first thing I did, believe it or not, was go and try to figure out how to take care of my kid, go back to school. What do I do? But I need to make sure I'll cut everything. I cut all the expenses, but I will have money to buy a life insurance. And it is still the IUL to this day. I still have it because I could never imagine my two kids, at the age of 10 and 12, what to do if something like that were to happen to me, what to do.
So what kind of expenses or costs were you looking at? And this was not, how long ago was this, G?
He passed away in 2010, and so almost 14 years ago, last September. So way back when the surgeon sent us home and say, make him comfortable. There's nothing else we can do for him. The cancer has spread through his whole brain, and just take him home. And the best way is to put him in a nursing care facility, just like what Jen said with her staff, because that's the only place that there would be skilled people to take care of him. But I refuse to do it. There's no way I'm going to put him in a nursing home. My children and I would not bear the pain of going through and visit him and see all the sick people. And remember, my kid was like 9 and 11 at the time. Imagine the walk from the front door through the whole nursing care to his room, to his bed. What kind of experience do you think the children are going to remember? So, I battled with myself and finally decided I'm going to take him home. And the health insurance did pay for his hospital bed, did pay for his oxygen machine, did pay for his painkiller to help him with the pain. But the health insurance did not pay for a nurse to help me to care for him 24/7, because he could not be left alone. We need to make sure his oxygen machine was running properly. And sometimes he did not know much, but he still tried to fight and get off his hospital bed. So we would always have the rail up, but then we have somebody there to watch him. And my children was still, remember, running activity. I didn't want to make them suffer any more than what they were already suffering. So I make sure they still run. So I have to take them to different places and do everything else. So there is always somebody sit with him 24/7. And way back when, it cost $9,000 a month for one nurse. For each 12 hours, they send one nurse to help me. But I still do all the bathing, wiping, and brushing his teeth and, and everything else. But the nurse needs to sit there when I'm not there, when I have to go pick up the kids and everything else. And that was almost 14 years ago, and it's $9,000 a month.
Wow. Okay. So thank you, Jay, for again sharing that story. Vietnamese, we don't normally talk about this. And normally it's because this người Việt có câu là có hay ho gì đâu mà nói cho người ta biết, right? Like they always want to hide everything that's bad, hide everything that's unpleasant. So I really appreciate both of you sharing your story, because I think it's important to share it. I think it's important to let people know what can happen. And unfortunately for 7 out of 10 people, what will happen. So Jen and Chị Lan, I've known both of them for at least 10 years now.
Right.
And so when I started doing the work that I'm doing now to help, families with finances, and then we looked into, other stuff like, investing, great. But what about this long-term care stuff that, I didn't even think about? When you're young and healthy, you don't think about that stuff. Okay. And so they have now joined my team, because what I love about them is that they have these personal stories. They know what it's like. So when they talk to families about how you need to protect yourself, they're not salespeople. They are talking from personal experience. Okay. They know what it's like. They know what the challenges are. And so we're trying to help people with, you guys, you got to think about this. You cannot wait. Waiting is the worst thing that you can do. By the way, On Mother's Day, I met with a woman who she really, which is why I scheduled her on Mother's Day. She wanted an IUL, and she can't because a month ago she tripped and fell and hit her head, and now she's got. She says she's got like a small blood clot, and they're very concerned about it. So now they put her on meds to make sure it doesn't lead to a stroke. She's done. She cannot get any more. She cannot get coverage. A month ago, this happened. This is why we tell people you don't wait, because you know that you're going to need it. And so for those of you watching right now, like I want you to ask yourself, like, what are you insuring inside your home? Right? You insure the house. You insure your car. Some people insure their phones. Why? Because my iPhone is expensive, and just in case I drop it, I don't. Okay. And yet, like, a lot of people don't have life insurance. It makes no sense to me. Okay. You buy car insurance. You hope you never crash your car. And most people don't. Most people never total their car. Okay. You buy coverage for your house. Most people's homes don't ever burn down. But everyone's going to die. Everyone is going to die. And then 7 out of 10 of you watching right now will need long-term care. That means we'll all die, and then most of us will get sick. And yet no one thinks, well, then I better get insurance. See, so that's why you have to think it through. You insure all these material things that can be replaced. You cannot be replaced. That's why it's really important that you sit down and you look at this.
Yeah.
Okay, so that not only, let's say if you die, your family is left with something so that they can continue with their lifestyle. But what if you don't die? And I say this to my clients all the time. Well, what if you don't die? One, if you don't die and you live long, you're probably going to get sick. You're going to need the money for care. Don't expect your children. Do not expect your children. And I wouldn't want my children to bear that burden.
Correct.
Okay. Right.
Yes, me too. And that's why, you know, like I've shared this with a lot of people, that is the money, the premium that I put in every month. I could easily go get myself, you know, red sole shoes, handbag, anything I want. But then I would always have to leave each day with the worry that one day I will become the burden for my 2 kids, 2 amazing kids. I mean, they would love me. So I'm very sure they would not be able to just watch their mom suffering. But you have to remember, they will have children. They will have their spouse. They would have a job. And their job might require no time to care for anybody else. So between having money to hire someone to take care of mom, or put mom in a state facility, nursing care, whatever, and see mom suffer, they will be torn. And I will tell you, the simple fact to me is I love my children so much that I tell myself, I will never, ever let them endure any kind of pain that I endure. Because for some reason, I always think like I can handle anything. Like that's my mentality. Coming from Vietnam, you know, with no English and 4 pair of clothes, I always feel like I could do anything. But because they grew up here and they grew up in a life, I would say luxury, American dream, my children don't really know what suffering is. And I feel like suddenly when mom turned, you know, I'm not even say 70, 80. I say, let's just say tomorrow I got hit by a car or something like that. And my children, my daughter is working full-time now, and my son is about to apply for dental school. Are they going to give up their future to go take care of mommy?
Right.
No way. No, right. No, I won't do it. I won't let that happen. And so for me, that's a very, very easy choice. Live a luxury life, bigger. I mean, to some people, you can afford everything, right? You can have everything. But to some people, if that's all you can afford, if that's all you can have, then you make the choice. Do you want a bigger house? Do you want a nicer car? Do you want, brand name handbags and this and that? Or do you want the security and burden free and all of it? The choice you have to make. And for me, it was an easy choice.
Yeah.
Nothing you have to think about.
Well, one expense that which I see where they're going, because I love to travel myself. I love to travel. And so when I talk to people about their budgeting, and then they have no more money left after their, take home pay and other expenses, is because they have to travel. And I'm like, okay, that's great. You travel when you have extra money. Maybe don't stay at the Ritz. You can still travel, but you need to take care of your future first. It just seems so short-sighted not to take a look down the road and see, what life's going to be like now. Then.
Yeah. And even let's say you decide you want to travel 4 trips a year. Now you go 2. But you have a peace of mind, truly. For me, at nighttime, I have a good night's sleep because I have a peace of mind, and I know that my children will be taken care of.
Yeah. And I know, Jen, you obviously you're covered, and your spouse is covered. You don't have any kids, but you're still covered. Why is that?
Well, because if anything happened to me, I know that my family, my sister or my niece and nephew can use that cash value that I have in my policy to take care of me, and they don't have to, spend money out their pocket. That's what I don't want to put on them. Because eventually my niece and nephew are going to grow up and, have their own life, and I don't want to burden them.
Mm-hmm.
That's why me and my spouse, we decided we have to get protection, not just for us while we're leaving, but if something happened to us, we also been taken care of and not bother anybody in the family.
Yeah. So like when I compare it to all other insurances that people buy, you buy homeowners and you hope your home never burns down. You buy car insurance and you hope you never get in a crash, right? Like, and most people don't. But with life insurance, I don't know why people are not open-minded to look at what it really is.
Well,
like there's 100% pay. You are gonna die. But here's the other thing. Like we realize that, yes, we will die. But people think they have time.
That's what I was going to say. People think they have time, and people truly believe they say they have time. I'm not going to die tomorrow. It's only happened to
other
Mrs.
people,
A or Mrs. B or somebody else. It's not going to happen to me.
Yeah. You know what happened this week that again struck me, and like I'm in the business, so I'm thinking about it all the time, and I know. But Sam Rubin, for people who are local in California, he was an entertainment reporter at a competing station with us, but we're all friends and we know each other. He's only 64 and died of a heart attack, like unexpectedly. He was just on the air. And so when someone dies, then it really hits home. But it suddenly just made me stop and say, wow, like no matter what you do, like people think they're healthy. Like there are some things that will happen that you have no control over.
And one of them, let me just remind you that you cannot expect or know is COVID.
COVID?
Yeah. And then you just suddenly one day go into the hospital and never return home.
Yeah, and that happened to
your family left with nothing and have to sell their house, have to sell the car, has to stop, college education and everything. Because the breadwinner, the main provider, is gone.
Yeah, yeah. And then the other thing is, and when I compare it to other insurances that people buy, that we all have, is that when I pay my homeowners or my car insurance or my insurance for my gosh darn phone, okay, that money is gone after I pay it. It is gone, you guys. Okay, you pay it. If you don't crash your car, you don't get anything back. You don't get anything.
Yeah.
But if you buy the right type of life insurance and you don't get sick, you've got cash. So then now you use that cash for whatever the heck you want.
Yeah,
You know,
but you know, some of the people before, Lena, before the IUL, they buy the term life and they don't know, and they bought it for 10 years, like, you know, the way I did. And then, you know, you die on the 11th year, or the 10th year past one day, and you got nothing. And so people have this thing like, I just waste the whole 10 years of money and I got nothing. So it's a scam. I don't want to do this anymore. And that's where most of them started from.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because one, there are some bad agents out there. Nhưng mà two, there are a lot of people who bought insurance who didn't understand.
Yes.
They have no idea what kind of policy they have.
Yeah.
They don't know the difference between term, universal, and whole life.
Yeah.
And so people, not one person has been scammed by a carrier. Not one person has been scammed by a carrier. You may have lost your policy because you didn't pay premiums. You may have lost a policy because your agent didn't tell you, right, what you were buying. Your policy may have ended because it was term. Okay. Not all, there's so many different types. You need a good agent to help you through it and get you the right kind. And so that's unfortunate that so many people hate life insurance because it's so, nó rất là lợi cho mình, right? Nhưng mà tại vì nhiều người đã từng bị, một là gạt, hai là họ không hiểu nên cứ truyền miệng, and now everyone thinks it's bad. And that's so unfortunate.
Yeah.
Right? Tại vì, nè, người có tiền nè, mà nhất là người Mỹ nè. Chị ơi, so many of them have insurance.
Yeah.
Because they know and they understand it.
Yeah. And you know, you should have a few. I mean, I would recommend people. This is not a selfish. This is a true statement because I have it and I know you have it. Is to have multiple policy. Why? Because if you decided you want to leave something for your children, but then you also want to have a policy that take care of you when you're sick and still living, then you should have another policy. Otherwise, you use up all the money of this policy to take care of you. You have nothing left to leave for the kids. And then you would like live with the struggle. Okay, should I die? Like, should I, you know, do something so that, you know, I die so that I live.
They can hưởng.
Yeah. And, you know, it's just a lot. And so, you know, if people truly ask me who had been through it, who had gone, you know, and understood and learned and everything else. And as a policy owner, I would just say this to you. You need to make sure, look at all the aspects of your life, how your children live, how you live, what legacy you want to live, and then you make the entire plan and decide how many policy or how much money you need to invest, how big of a policy you need, so that you will have enough to take care of you and also leave for generations to come.
Well, and most people don't know how to do that. Most people don't know how much coverage they need. Most people just have no idea what they should be paying. Like none. Like, so Jen and I, we often meet with people and thường á, người ta nghĩ là một, they không có tiền để mua IUL. Right, Jen? Yeah. And then what happens? What happens when you go through their budgeting?
They do have money.
They have money, but they're spending it.
They spend it without knowing where they spend it. They overspend it. And, you know, like we calculate the expense and let's say they have 4,000 left, but we ask them and they're like, oh, I don't have it.
Yeah. Yeah. Làm, you know, thu nhập nè, trừ chi phí hàng tháng nè, phải dư chừng này nè. And then they just, ủa sao không thấy? Là tại vì mình mà không để ý, mình sẽ tiêu xài.
Yeah.
Mình tiêu xài những cái không xứng đáng.
Yeah, and believe it or not, if you set it up, okay, so that it's automatically paid every month, mandatory, it's like air. You know, you have the bank taken out and you don't look at it, then the money is gone and you don't have that money to spend anymore. Right. That's how I do it.
That's why the 401k got so popular. in the early 90s, when they made it possible for employers to take it out from your paycheck, that's how people started saving more. It was never meant to be retirement. It was never meant to be the retirement plan. It turned out to be that way. People have, that's another thing people don't understand. Your retirement, what are you doing with your 401k? Tax deferral. People have not looked down the road. Okay. People think paying right now, they think their taxes are high right now. Oh, they're so wrong. By the way, as you all know, it's an election year. Okay. There are tax cuts that will expire. So in 2026, we could be going back to 2017 brackets. I got to do a video on this because if you don't know the difference between, just look at this, look at 2017 taxes and 2018 taxes. Right now, our taxes are like 2018. Come the year 2026, if it expires, you're going to go back to 2017 taxes.
Which is higher. That's all we need to tell people.
Oh, yeah. No, and a lot higher. So for
Yes.
people who make a lot of money, they're going to be hit very hard. Middle class is going to be hit hard. Hard.
Yeah.
And so you've been deferring all this tax. Oh man, you thought what are you thinking? Are you thinking taxes will never go up again? If you've been thinking that, you're wrong. How can you think that taxes will never go up?
Yeah, well, I tell you, I'm actually looking at it right now because I will reach 59 and a half very soon.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started looking into my 401k, my retirement and see what's going on. And then I realized, oh God, I'm actually have to pay taxes if I start taking it. So yeah, it's unpleasant. You just like, okay, another expense, another tax, and everything else.
Right.
And we shared this story before last week, I believe, on SBTN. Is but with my life insurance, and I took out a loan, I didn't pay any money, any taxes, anything to anybody.
Yep.
And that's for me. It's like you don't understand, but sometimes $5,000 worth of taxes is still $5,000.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, here's well, I won't get into it, nhưng mà right now a lot of mấy chú Việt Nam hồi trước làm giống như cho mấy hãng giống như là Boeing, so they grew their 401k, grew it a lot because we're good savers. Người Việt Nam, they just go max out 401k. Bây giờ trong 401k 2 triệu đồng. All right? Đến tuổi 73, they don't want to take the money out because they don't want to pay taxes. Guess what? RMDs. RMDs. Bây giờ tưởng tượng đi nha. Let's try to imagine you in your 70s getting a tax bill for $40,000-$50,000. They're like, what? They didn't plan on it. Bây giờ phải vào old 401k, cái IRA, phải vào đó lấy thêm tiền để đóng thuế. You're going to lose so much money to taxes because you've been deferring. That's like telling someone, here, I'm going to give you this money, and you can tell me later what you're going to charge me to take my money back. You basically don't know. And so that's why you have to sit down and you have to làm một bài toán. Okay? You have to. Taxes are going to kill a lot of people, and then long-term care is going to take out a big, big chunk of your money in old age, your retirement money.
Yeah, a lot of people say this, Lena and Jen Bill, a lot of people say that, oh, I have a lot of money in 401k. I can take care of myself, and everything. And, or, I can sell my house and stuff. And my answer always, if you sell your house, where are you going to move to? You need a house. You need a roof over your head. So what are you to do? And then 401k, even if you have $2 million and then you pay about 30% in taxes, maybe, or, so you have $1.4 million left, and you're sick for 10 years, 20 years, it's gone. And then you have nothing to leave for your wife and kids and husbands, or, what
right.
I don't know.
Oh, there's a lot. There's so much. Có một người nói là mong em dịch ra tiếng Việt. Okay? Yes, hồi nãy mình nói tiếng Anh hơi nhiều. Hư quá trời hư luôn. So nếu mà mình không có tính trước nha, mình không tính trước, bây giờ mình đang cứ là hoãn thuế, mình bỏ vào cái 401k hoặc là cái IRA, mình đang hoãn thuế. Mình nghĩ thuế bây giờ cao quá, mình không có muốn mình không muốn trả nên mình hoãn thuế. Nhưng mà quý vị chưa có nghĩ đến tương lai. Chính phủ Mỹ tăng thuế, bây giờ mình phải trả thêm. Bây giờ mình đang đi làm mỗi tháng, mình đóng vào 401k 1.000 đồng tại vì mình không có muốn trả thêm thuế 1.000 đồng. Nhưng mà cái 1.000 đồng đó bây giờ mình bỏ vào 401k, 30 năm sau nó thành bao nhiêu? Yeah, maybe 10.000, maybe more. Rồi sau đó mình phải trả thuế trên con số, cái balance nha, chứ không phải là not the what you put in, what you have. Và nếu mà khi đó mà thuế bị tăng cao nữa, mình sẽ mất thêm tiền. Okay? Và nếu mà tiền của mình trong thị trường nè, in the market, in an IRA, mà mình đã retire rồi hoặc là mình sắp retire mà mình không có bảo vệ cái tiền đó, bây giờ thị trường nó sụp một cái 30%. Oh, what are you gonna do then? Okay? Nếu mà quý vị lucky mà mình có 2 triệu mà bây giờ mình mất 30% đi. That's a lot of money. Còn như nếu mà quý vị không có đủ tiền nha. Let's say you have 500,000 saved up. Now what? Now what? It's not going to be enough. It's not going to be enough even if you don't get sick. Như vậy là nếu mà mình không bệnh đi, okay, mình không bệnh, it's still not enough money to live. Okay, mình chưa có nghĩ đến lạm phát nào. Quý vị nghĩ bây giờ một tô phở cho 10 đồng đi. Okay.
Show me where you find that.
Chỗ rẻ.
$17.
I know. Thì bây giờ cho cái tô phở dở đi. Cái tô phở dở thì dở 10 đồng. Nhưng mà tại vì nó ít quá, mà họ bỏ thịt ít quá, mình phải mua 2 tô. Nhưng mà what do you think? In 20 years, how much you think that bowl of phở is going to be? Right? So, mình chưa nghĩ đến lạm phát, mình chưa nghĩ đến thuế, mình chưa nghĩ đến nếu mình bệnh là sao? Medical cost. Okay? And then, bây giờ nếu mà mình còn vợ, còn chồng, sau này một người ra đi, now you're single, double income, your tax bracket just shot up. Như vậy là sau này quý vị là maybe là making more than when you were working. Okay, mấy cái đó mình phải nhìn lại, huh? And there is a way. So, like, how do you prepare for it? If you haven't looked at cash value life insurance, you need to look at it. Là tại vì nếu rủi ro mình mất, mình có tiền tử cho gia đình. Cái đó là cái sự bảo vệ cho gia đình. Còn như nếu mà quý vị không chết nào, vì mình sống dai quá, mình sống đến 80 mấy, 90 mấy tuổi, you need money to live. Okay? Còn như nếu mà mình bệnh, mình có tiền bệnh nào? Nhưng mà nếu mà mình không bệnh, mình có tiền mặt. And it's all tax free, nó miễn thuế hết. Hoàn toàn miễn thuế nếu quý vị có hợp đồng. So it's, I don't know, tiếng Việt, we need to come up with a no-brainer. When I say no-brainer,
không có gì phải suy nghĩ.
Yeah, nhưng mà nói nó không có nghe hay. Nhưng mà thực sự nó là no-brainer. Nó là no-brainer. Bởi vậy, rất là tiếc và rất là buồn cho cộng đồng người Việt mình không hiểu bảo hiểm nhân thọ. Đã từng bị mất tiền, right? Mua mà không hiểu. Hoặc là người bán cũng không hiểu luôn. Người bán không hiểu luôn, làm sao mà người mua hiểu được? Bởi vậy rất là tội cho cộng đồng mình là tại vì đây là một cách để mình bảo vệ nè. Đây là một cách để mình làm giàu cho mình luôn nè. Đây là một cách để mình làm giàu cho con cháu mình thế hệ sau này nè. Quý vị nghe cái câu là generational wealth. What is it? How do you do it? Không phải generational wealth là bây giờ mình đi cày rồi mình trả tiền học cho con, mình trả tiền nhà cho con. Cái đó không phải là generational wealth đâu. That's not the smart way of doing it.
Yeah.
Right? Mình mua bảo hiểm, mình cái hợp đồng đó nó thành mấy triệu đồng để lại cho con cháu. That is how you make them rich.
Tại vì mình có để dành á, mình cũng không để dành được cái số tiền.
No way.
Như vậy. And mấy hôm nay đó chị write up policy for mấy em trẻ bắt đầu bỏ tiền vô lúc khoảng chừng 26, 28 tuổi. You know, my kids and my nephew and all that. And I do hope, chị rất là hy vọng nha, in 30 years, when they actually see the chunk of money they have,
Nó
I'm
sẽ
still
nhớ chị.
alive, chị vẫn còn alive, to actually see it, so they'll come over and say, thank you, way back when you actually told me something I really didn't want to do, I didn't really believe in it, but I did it because I trust you, and look at what I got today. I really hope.
Well, Jen has you beat. Jen là specialize in những cái hợp đồng cho con nít và người trẻ, right? Okay, so she làm cho mấy đứa mà maybe 50 năm sau nó mới biết, nó mới biết cái giá trị của cái hợp đồng đó. Khi đó là Jen không còn rồi. Khi đó Jen không còn rồi. Nhưng mà mình vẫn you feel good. Yeah. You feel good that what you do today will change someone else's life later. Yeah. So anyway, good talk. Thank you so much, chị Lan and Jen, for sharing your stories. So keep going out there and talking to people, changing lives. Nếu mà ai có nhu cầu gì nha, this is Team Van May. Mình thật sự phải nói là không phải là mèo khen mèo dài đuôi, nhưng mà cái team của Lina rất là đặc biệt, là tại vì người ta học, người ta lấy bằng được, cái đó không khó đâu nha. Khó, hơi khó, chứ không phải là nó không khó, hơi khó. Nhưng mà người ta cũng làm được. Cái mà mình không có dạy được, cái mà không có học được á, là làm việc với cái lương tâm. Mình làm là tại vì mình thật sự mình muốn giúp người. Nó khác hẳn những người mà làm việc để kiếm đồng tiền. Mình làm việc để được cái paycheck là đó là chỉ là làm việc thôi. Còn cái team của mình á, rất là đặc biệt, là ai cũng có một cái hiểu biết và cái passion để giúp người khác. Nên phải nói là làm chung với Lina không có dễ, không có dễ mà được nhận vào để làm chung. Nhưng mà quý vị yên tâm, khi mà Lina đã giới thiệu đây là trong team vận may của mình rồi đó, là những người này là chịu khó lắm nè. Và giống như là không có sợ mà làm gì sai, hoặc là hồi trước mà đang học lấy bằng này kia mà whatever, học training, product training mà bị gì là Lina nói liền à. Họ rất là thank you, I'm learning it. Và doing it for the right reason. Doing it for the right reason. Celine Bùi, 38 tuổi, có trẻ, trời ơi sao mà trẻ được.
No, em? Yes, chú and em right now 38 tuổi.
Mình nghe
38 tuổi là tuổi tốt đó làm
mình nghe 38 tuổi mình thấy thèm vậy. What do you mean trẻ em? Tuần vừa rồi chị giúp một người 69 tuổi nha. Up to 79. After 79 thì họ không bán nữa đâu. Why? You're close to death. nhưng mà up to 79 người ta vẫn mua, là tại vì có cái lợi trong đó. Instantly có cái lợi trong đó. So Celine, contact us. It's of course not too late, em. Em bắt đầu bây giờ đó, so 38, 48, bảo đảm với em, you sẽ là retire early. You're going to retire early, and cái số tiền mà em sẽ lãnh được hàng tháng miễn thuế, nó sẽ cao hơn tiền Social Security nữa. Miễn thuế nha, cao hơn Social Security nữa. Cộng thêm em có những cái khác, tiền tử, tiền bệnh, Social Security đâu có đâu, IRA đâu có đâu, stocks đâu có mấy cái đó đâu. Đây không phải là mình nói xấu stocks nha, ông xã mình làm stocks nè. Nếu mình có khả năng, you have to have everything. Nhưng mà mình không có khả năng, mình phải lo về cái safety money trước. Mình bảo vệ gia đình mình trước, rồi xong mình đi cày. Ok. 48 mới trẻ nè. No way luôn.
No. I had my first policy when I was 47, 48. Yes, about the same age. Yeah.
I had my first policy at 49.
Well, not the first, but I got another policy and my husband's policy, and we were 53.
Yeah. So no. Không có trẻ. Go for it, Thủy Đoàn. Go for it.
Yeah. Nga, tôi muốn mua IUL. Yay, Nga. Contact us. Okay? We will give you all the information. Cái gì cũng vậy. Mình mua, mình phải hiểu. Okay? Mình phải biết option. Và ai mà ra để kiếm bảo hiểm nhân thọ. Lời khuyên của Lina là đừng có đi đến một người mà họ kêu là captive agent. Như vậy là họ làm cho một hãng thôi. Khi mà mình làm cho một hãng thôi đó, là bây giờ tốt hay không, mắc hay không, họ chỉ bán cái đó cho mình thôi. Mình cần hay không, họ cũng bán cái đó cho mình thôi. Kiếm đến những người broker like us. Như vậy là nhiều hãng. Mình biết cái tuổi, cái cỡ, cái sức khỏe, mình biết hãng nào là có giá cả tốt hơn. Cái nhu cầu của mọi người ha. Ok?
Mà không phải là nói cái này là tại vì team Vân May, team Lina, but Lina luôn luôn train us, make us phải làm nhiều cái illustration, go through nhiều cái company lắm rồi mới cho us chọn một company. So.
Yeah. Đó, bởi vậy em nói em khó tính lắm. Là mình làm việc sao để Lina thường nói nè, Lina không có làm trong cái ngành truyền thông để mình được cái reputation của mình. Mình chỉ là cái tên tuổi mình thôi. Bây giờ mình làm một cái policy mà bad thôi đó là mất hết. That's it. There goes my reputation. Yeah. Nên why would I do that? Right? And I always tell my team members, làm việc sao phải làm cho đúng, là tại vì bây giờ team của Lina, Jen làm việc, chị Thúy Lan làm việc. Nó là, how do I say it in Vietnamese? Nhưng mà it's a reflection of me. Trời, chị Thúy Lan, you're fired chị. Trời ơi, chị lớn hơn em, đáng ra lời tiếng Việt chị phải là hay hơn mà.
Chị chịu thôi, chị nghĩ chắc ảnh hưởng Lina.
Yes.
Ảnh hưởng
Yes.
Lina.
Yeah. Như vậy là những người trong team của Lina làm việc sao nó sẽ ảnh hưởng đến cái tên, cái tuổi của mình. Nên mình rất là khó, mình muốn là họ làm việc cho tốt. Yeah. So, okay. Yes. Finally, look at those plans. Okay? Trời ơi, chị Nga này cứ nói là email Lina 2 lần không thấy trả lời. I answer all the time. All the time. Try it again. Nhưng mà look in your spam folder. Chưa bao giờ mà đợi qua ngày thứ 2 nha. Tệ nhất là đợi một ngày nhưng mà not even. So please email me. Okay. Now, if you want to be on my team, you have to like music. Khi nào mà Lina được 100.000 subscriber rồi đó, là mình phải có một buổi tiệc. Yeah, mình phải có một buổi tiệc. Và trong buổi tiệc đó phải có nhạc. Nhạc là phải có ca hát. Ca hát là phải có chị Thúy Lan. Chị yeah. Đó là what do they call là hidden talent, là không phải là nghề thứ hai, là tại vì chị đâu có hát cho tiền, nhưng mà yeah. Yep. Yes. She's invited, you're invited. Yep. She responded to my emails right away. That's right. I sure do. Okay. So here's a little music. Thank you everyone for listening. Yes. Thank you chị Thúy Lan and Jen for sharing your stories.
Yeah, thank you Lina. Xin cảm ơn quý vị.
It's not easy to relive painful past, but if their stories can like help one person, put a plan in place. Sẽ có một ngày quý vị sẽ một là nói, may quá, may cái buổi đó mình nghe cái YouTube rồi mình lo cho gia đình, bây giờ mình mới được cái sự support như vậy. Hai, có thể một ngày quý vị sẽ nói, wow, mình biết vậy hồi xưa mình nghe, đáng ra mình phải làm rồi. Right? So please do not regret. Okay? Let's not regret. Okay, everybody, have a good night. Have a good day in Vietnam. And we'll see you again. Thank you again, chị Thúy Lan. Thank you, Jen.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, Team Van May, let's go out there and help some more people. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.